All right, boom. Snowing again, no wind yet. Excellent. All right. Well, this is the Viva Purpose team training. Thank you for coming out tonight. Hopefully, I don't know if the Thursday night might work better for some people. We were having some problems with conflicts on the Friday morning. So hopefully this time will work a little bit better for people. Of course, Viva Purpose training presented by yours truly, Steve Page. This is episode 9 already. I've given 9 of these, and so every week we're going to add to it. I do want to point out, watch for next week's. Next week would be Thanksgiving. And so I'm not going to do a live training, but I am going to go ahead and do a recorded one. And I'm going to send it out a little bit earlier in the week because it's going to have to do with Thanksgiving. And so and it's going to be contacting people over Thanksgiving. And so I'm going to send that out probably early in the week there and show you what my plans are to be able to kind of capitalize on that. And hopefully you can too. So be looking for episode 10 early in the week, but we will not have the live training next week, but we will pick back up the following week. It's on the calendar. You should have the invite, and I'll send out the email reminders as well. All right, so here we are, Top Agent Referral LUMALLIE training. Today we're going to discuss the big list and the 7 steps. 7 steps. Actually, on the screen, it probably looks better that way. 7 steps. And so these are key. Okay, this is where we really start off. You really need to know this well because not only for you, will accept, especially for you, but as well as to duplicate and really get into building your business. This big list and these 7 steps are what you need to work on each of your team members putting together and implementing right away so they can get a fast start. And you'll see in the coming training what Luke's going to do actually next week. He's going to be presenting something that really is going to hinge off of this. So you really need to nail this down, get this worked out, and be able to explain why this is important to the people in your downline so that then you can start really getting your business off to a great start. So definitely get in on Luke's training on next week because that's going to build off of this. So Top Agent Referral, LUMALLIE, the big list, and the 7 steps. Here we go. So the big list, what is the big list? So you need to make a big list. Now this is in your new member packet. If you have not seen that, some of us did our new member packet a long time ago. It's been updated, it's been revamped. The latest version of the new member packet that you can find in the back office, if you want to take a look at it, includes the big list. It also has the memory jogger to help you with the big list. But essentially what you need to do is you need and want to make a list of everyone you know. Now I want to stress that everyone you know, okay? If you think the person has a 50% chance or more of remembering you, remembering who you are, write them down. Maybe if they have a 50% chance, if you can jog their memory and remind them who you are, write them down. And I'm going to tell you, even write down people who you don't even think they're going to remember you, because I contacted people from high school, and I know what happened because I could hear on the conversation. I said, hey, yeah, this is Steve. You know, you may not remember me, but in high school, you know, I was in high school with you. And I know I could tell on the phone they were doing the, oh yeah, how's it going? But they had no recollection of who I was. I know they went and got their yearbook out, flipped through, oh, that guy. And so then they could remember me. But I know I would write down everybody. Just make a list as big as you can. The size of your list will determine how fast your business will take off and how much money you will earn immediately. And the reason why is because these are the people who already have a relationship with you. They already know who you are, so there's already an inherent level of trust established, whether you realize it or not, whether you really got along well or not, whether they thought you were an idiot in high school or not. They probably at least think that you were a decent person, hopefully. If you were the bully growing up, you may have a little bit of hurdles to overcome, but that can happen. That can be overcome as well. The bigger your list, the more money you will make, simply because you're going to capitalize off of all of those relationships. So we know and understand that you might be afraid of contacting some people you know about your new business. You may have tried businesses in the past, and because you don't want to approach these same people again. So maybe you've tried to get them into a past business. Maybe your business has failed. Maybe they just didn't like hearing about it. Maybe they weren't in a place in their life where they were ready to need a new opportunity, to need to earn extra income. And so sometimes we're hesitant. However, if you're leaving them off, you're actually doing them a disservice by not at least giving them the opportunity. You will not be trying to sell anyone anything. Top Agent Referral offers a free service of helping buyers and sellers. So you are not trying to sell them anything. You're not trying to make them open their pocketbook to use our service. You want to make the list as long as you possibly can, and every name and number that you write down has the potential to make you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, why would it be hundreds of thousands of dollars? Because it's not just who they are, it's who they know, and it's who the people they know. And especially if they decide to join your business, then that could be a whole bunch of residual passive income based off of what they could potentially produce within your business. So you write them off because you're too afraid to talk to them. You're too, you don't want to bother them, anything like that. You can be giving up on money, and that's what you need to look at them as potential. Okay, not in a potential of I'm going to take advantage of them type of way, because you're not. You're simply offering them a free service. So a beneficial service to connect them with the experts to get them the best deal on their real estate, protect their assets, protect their investment. It is a free service. And so hopefully you believe in the service well enough that you realize you're doing them a service by helping them connect with those agents, and it also by giving them an opportunity in the business. Do not prejudge. People will join the business that you don't expect to join, and many people that you expect to join will not. You will never know unless sharing this. You will never know unless sharing this amazing opportunity with everyone you know. So if you share it with everybody, you give them a chance to say yes, I'm in, or no, I'll pass. The other thing is this: can you imagine if you were the guy that your friend or somebody you knew from way back, you coworker from years ago or whatever, got into this business and they started making a ton of money, and you find out about it 6 months later, a year later, 5 years later, and they're making all kinds of money, and they never shared the opportunity with you? How would you feel? That's a missed opportunity, especially, okay, great, you're telling me now 5-10 years down the road, where were you 5 years ago? I could have been making money for the last 5 years just like you are. And so don't ever do that disservice of counting somebody out. You never know. There are people who've joined my team who I never thought would join, and others that I was absolutely certain they were signing up right away. Never happened. I'm still pursuing them, but it hasn't happened yet. In regards to the LUMALLIE business, all we do is share the business opportunity like we did with you and let them make the decision for themselves. We are not selling them on the business. I don't want anybody to join my team that doesn't want to make the money themselves. I don't want them to get in a position where they feel forced, because then they're not going to work. They're not going to do anything anyway. They're not going to share the opportunity. They're not going to share the service, and they're just going to be a waste of time. Right? So we're not selling them on anything. We're simply offering them opportunities to work with the best agents, and opportunities to earn money in real estate and generate that passive income by building a team. The people that do not join your business can refer buyers and sellers. This is why it is so important to share it with everyone you know. So as I say, I always share the business now first. Originally, I had kind of a different strategy, and that didn't work as well. Right now, I share the business first, and the reason why is because in the business presentation, we showcase our service. We show in depth why our service is so valuable, why it's such a great service, and then we say, would you like to help other people as well and earn money in doing so? And so even if they say, you know what, I'll pass on the business opportunity, that's not for me right now, I don't want to do that, they can still refer people to you because they understand the value of the service and what you are doing to be able to save them or make them money. Save them money on a purchase or make them money on a sale. So that's why I always share the business. Let them decide whether it's for them or not. So once you've created your list and you know who you're going to share, then you start implementing the 7-step system. So we have a 7-step system which will easily and effective. That is easy and effective. All you have to do is work with your sponsor or upline and follow the 7 steps. If you don't follow the system or decide you want to try something else, then make sure you get back reach back out with your sponsor and upline when that system doesn't work and you are ready to follow the path that is proven to have success over and over again. So you can try it your way. You think you have a better way, go ahead. And if you are successful, outstanding. That is excellent. But if it fails, make sure you get back to us and we'll get you back on the 7 steps. So the 7 steps, step number 1 is that big list. So make sure you make the big list. Remember, write down or type out a list of everyone you know, every single person. Your list should be at least the number of contacts you have in your phone, plus all of your Facebook friends. The size of your list will show your sponsor or upline how serious you plan on working this business. So if you only put one person on your list, your sponsor is immediately going to know that you're not really interested in building your business and growing your business and making that income. If you make your list hundreds of people, thousands of people, they're going to know, okay, if you're going to really reach out to these people, you are serious about building your business, you are serious about changing your future and your current financial situation. Okay, step number 2, FHM or FW. That is first home meeting or first webinar. So schedule your first home meeting or first webinar. You'll be setting up a first home meeting or first webinar to share the business opportunity and top agent referrals. Going to be able to do this in the back office shortly. Right now, they're revamping the site a little bit. So all you do is you plan the you play the company recorded informational video, and then you get your upline on the phone at the end. So there's the video. Luke shared it. We actually are going to have a new one coming out in the coming week here. I believe it should be out this next week. But you can use the one that Luke has already put out in the group. So all you have to do is play that video and get your upline on the phone at the end. And we're going to get a little bit more in depth in that in step number 4. The time and day is completely up to you. If you choose the first home meeting, if you choose to have your sponsor or upline give a first webinar, then you need to coordinate with that person and get it scheduled within the first 2 days. Get it on the calendar within 2 days of signing up. So this is what way you're going to teach your downline, people you bring into your business, is within 2 days, we need to get it on the calendar of when you're going to do this, because that creates immediate action and creates a wave to build off of. Either way, you're going to log into the back office and schedule the time and day. And as I mentioned, that's going to be implemented in the office here very shortly into the back office, and you'll see it there. So your sponsor or upline will walk you through how to schedule this in your back office. 1/3 of the people you invite will show up statistically. Statistically, when you invite people, about 1/3 of them will show up. Confirm with at least 60 people so that you will have 20 people show up. Now, these numbers are important here. If you can do these numbers at minimum, you'll see how it's really effective. So 60 people you invite, 20 people show up. If you set up the first home meeting, then make sure you have your sponsor or upline available 20 to 30 minutes after the meeting time for the Edify phone call. And we'll get into that in step number 5. So let's look at calls. You're going to invite as many people as you can to your first event. There are scripts to get people to your first home meeting or your first webinar. And for the scripts, there are a couple of different options that work well. You should take these scripts and type or write them out so that you are prepared and know exactly what to say before the phone call, or you can simply use the scripts verbatim, and that is fine as well. And so we'll go over those scripts here in just a moment. So calls. Here is the first phone call option for the first home meeting. Okay, and this is what it says. Hi, so-and-so. I know we haven't spoken in however long it's been. There's a specific reason for my call. How are you doing? You can either ask them how they're doing and catch up, or you can go straight into the reason for the call. Now, if you call and you haven't spoken to them in a long time, they're going to be like, why are you calling me? So if you go right into it, sometimes that is more effective than the beat around the bush approach where you try to kind of soften them up before you hit them with the punch. A lot of times they're like, just get to it already. I know it's coming. So you can test the waters on that, figure out which works best for you. But a lot of people, it works better just to go straight into, there's a specific reason for my call, and then here's this follow-up. You may know that I work at wherever you work and have not been happy because of the pay, the hours, no time with my family, whatever reason it is that you are not completely fulfilled with your current position, your current job, especially if you're doing this part-time, right? So I have my my full-time job, and then I have my part-time fortune builder. This is my part-time fortune builder. For a lot of people, that's the case, right? In that case, then why do you do this business? More than likely, it's at least going to be the pay. I really am not being able to make ends meet with my job, or I'm really trying to put some money away for my kids' savings, or I'm really looking forward to retirement, or I really want to get my house paid off, and I'm not going to be able to do that with my job in the time I want. So I've found a way to make additional income. So I was looking for a way to make some extra income or potentially replace my income, and I found a project that aligns perfectly for my schedule, and I thought you might be interested as well. If they say no, then you can explain how top agent referral helps buyers and sellers, and do not discuss the business opportunity with them. But immediately send them to your website. Go through your website, show them how they can register, show them how simple and professional it is, and the reasons why they should use your top agent referral service. So immediately go into that top agent referral client mode, okay? Don't talk to them anymore about the business if they say no, they're not interested. If they say yes, then you say, great, are you available to come over to my house on whatever day and time you scheduled that appointment? And then if you want to offer food and drinks, then make sure you let them know, hey, yeah, come on over. We're going to have some hors d'oeuvres, some soft drinks, or, some drinks, whatever. And I will be inviting some other people as well. So make sure to be on time. I appreciate it. Do I have your commitment that you will be there? Ask for the commitment. That really helps them confirm. And if they say, yeah, I commit, I will be there, I confirm that, that really makes them accountable at that point. And you have a higher likelihood of them actually showing up on that day and time. Give your address if they don't have it, and have them show up. Now, you're probably going to want to send out a reminder if it's going to be, next week or whatever, a day or two in advance to say, hey, really looking forward to you coming. Text messages work really great for that, of I'm really looking forward to meeting with you tomorrow, or I'm really, something like that. I'm excited to show you this opportunity. Can't wait to show it to you tomorrow. So here's option number 2 for the first home meeting. Hi, so-and-so. I know we haven't spoken in however long. There's a specific reason for my call. Once again, catch up or go right into the reason. When it comes to adding income to your household for your family, do you keep your options open? If they say no, then you can explain top agent referral, how they help buyers and sellers, but do not discuss the business opportunity. So once again, just like the other one, that's how that works out. If they say yes, I'm onto something I'm extremely committed to, and I thought of you. I have no idea if this will be for you or not, but I'm showing the information at date and time at my house, and know that it will be worth your time. Can you make it on that date and time? Okay. And then this is the continuation of that call. If they say, what is it? This company has changed the real estate brokerage industry, so now non-licensed people can make money in real estate without needing a license. Okay, and stop. Now, the hardest part about this script or any of these is to stop and not give additional information. You want to keep it as short and sweet as possible. All you're looking for is a commitment to come to the home meeting, because then everything will be explained in the home meeting. Luke has talked about this before in trying to make the full sale the first time out. It doesn't work effectively. So stick with the plan of giving them just a little bit of what it's about, making money in the real estate brokerage industry, how non-licensed people can make money. If they still ask for more information, you say, hold on, there's a 1-minute recording that explains, and then you dial the 800 number that Luke has sent out as well. It's right here, and connect the call so they can listen to it. Now, you can do this as a 3-way call. If you're from, if you know how, make sure you know how to do that on your phone, or you can like put it on speakerphone if they're right there with you, or call from a second phone and have it on speakerphone so they can hear it, or have them write down the number and call you back right after they listen to it. And so, but if you have them call, say, okay, I tell you what, call this number and call me right back as soon as you get done. I'll be waiting. It's a 1-minute call, so I expect your call in about 2 minutes. I look forward to talking to you in about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay? If they still ask for more information, you say, are you available on whatever date and time that is? They say, yes. Perfect. I look forward to seeing you. Make sure not to be late. There will be other people there as well. If they still ask for more information, you say, hold on, and you dial the other recording, the top agent referral recording, and then confirm that they will be at the first home meeting. Okay? So I just want to point out one thing here. If they keep pressing, you can easily say, you know, I'm relatively new to this business and I want to make sure you get accurate information. So I'm going to have an expert with us at the meeting, or available to talk us through things after the meeting. And so if you attend the meeting, you'll get all of the proper information correctly, and it really is very thorough, and you'll have your questions answered at that time. So that's another way to kind of follow that up. So here's how it would work for a webinar. So if you choose to do a webinar instead of a first home meeting, maybe you live in an area where most of your contacts are spread throughout the country. This is the way you would do that. So you say, hi, so-and-so. I know we haven't spoken in a while. There's a specific reason for my call. You can do the how are you, catch up, or go right into the reason. You may know that I work at blank. So this is very similar to that first home meeting one, except this is for the webinar. And so this part is the same. You may know that I work at blank and have not been happy because of blank. So I was looking for a way to make extra income, potentially replace my income, found a project that aligns perfectly with my schedule, and thought you might be interested as well. If they say no, once again, go straight into the top agent referral service, connecting buyers and sellers. Do not discuss the business opportunity with them. Just leave it alone at that point. If they say yes, then you say, this is where it changes up. There's a 30-minute webinar, which someone in the company will be explaining everything in detail on whatever date and time. Are you available to listen in? So this is option 2. Now you would get them to confirm for that date and time, and then you would send them the link to go ahead and register for that webinar and get them connected right away. Or you can do it interview style and register for them. That way you make sure that they're registered for it, and then just follow up and remind with a reminder to make sure that they're going to be there. Option number 2, hi so-and-so. I know we haven't spoken in however long. There's a specific reason for my call. Catch up or go into it. This, once again, when it comes to adding income to your household, you keep your options open. So same thing, do not discuss the business if they say no. If they say yes, the same response, I'm onto something I'm extremely committed to and I thought of you. Have no idea if it'll be for you or not, but there's a 30-minute webinar which someone in the company will be explaining everything in detail on date and time. Are you available to listen in? So very, very similar. Both of them are very similar. You're swapping out basically first home meeting or webinar. So they say, what is it? This company has changed the real estate brokerage industry. So now non-licensed people can make money in real estate without needing a license. Once again, if they ask for more information, direct them to the phone number, make that call, connect it, or have them make the call and call them right back, or have them call you right back. As it says, call it or have them call you back in 2 minutes. They ask for more information, ask them if they're available on the day and time of the webinar. If they say yes, perfect. I will be on the webinar also. I will email or text you the link to register right now while I'm on the phone with you. I will stay on the phone with you to make sure it works as space is limited. Saying that space is limited helps give that sense of urgency or that fear of missing out. And so that's another way to really secure that, as well as you want to make sure that they do follow through with the registration and they aren't just giving you lip service and then just blowing you off when they get off the phone. Once again, if they ask for more information, hold on, dial the other number, and that then direct them to the webinar once again. So those two numbers, one of them discusses the top agent referral service, so they understand what the service is a little bit more about, and the second one is a little bit about LUMALLIE and how we make money in the real estate industry. So once you've made your calls and you've scheduled your time, then you move on to the webinar or the first home meeting. And so the first one we're going to do here is the webinar. If you set up a webinar, then you will skip to number 5 and show up at the date and time of your webinar. You will want to sign up at least 10 minutes or sign in at least 10 minutes early to make sure to be on before anyone else joins, so you can start welcoming them to the webinar and introducing them to your sponsor or upline. And so that way you can say, oh yeah, great, it's great to see you, Jim. This is Steve, he's my sponsor, and so I just wanted to introduce you. Jim here is in car sales or whatever, So that's it. Then you would skip to number 5 on that one, and we'll get to edify your upline in just a moment. So for the home meetings, this is where you're sharing it yourself. So you will be sharing the business opportunity video once everyone has arrived. Have the video recording ready to go and test it out ahead of time. There's nothing worse than having, the gremlins, right? Technical difficulties. You go to push play, the video doesn't go, and then you're sitting there going, I don't know how I'm going to present this thing very well. Hit play, and then pause the video after it explains the service that Top Agent Referral provides. You guys, probably everyone on this training has seen the webinar presentation. With the webinar presentation, we go through the service that Top Agent Referral offers, and then we say, are there any questions about the service before we get into the pay structure? Same idea here. You're going to stop and make sure that they understand the Top Agent Referral service and what we provide. And then there is a home meeting calculator that we'll hand out with a pen, and you can get this document in the back office. And this basically helps calculate how many people they know that have bought or sold real estate, and then it calculates out, okay, well, if you made, I think it goes off of $1,000, this is how much you would have made. And so that's really powerful. And then you're going to say, now explain how the company's average payout is around $1,000. Have them multiply the number of people they wrote down by 1,000 and write that number in the last spot on the form. And then you just simply make it a contest. Who's the winner? Awesome, right? Now I'll show you the details. So this is a great way for them to go, oh, well, great. I know 10 people and they only use 7. I got $10,000. Excellent. They only got 7. So it's a nice way to kind of icebreaker the meeting a little bit. Once you get done with that, collect the home meeting calculator sheets while they're watching part 2 so you can evaluate what each of them wrote down and kind of get back to them. This is why the home meetings can be more effective, is because you don't have this type of interaction, you don't have this type of camaraderie and competition really through the webinars that you do with these home meetings. Seeing people face to face really does help seal the deal. It's a much more effective way of communication, and so that's why home meetings are always more effective. However, due to just the way a lot of our contacts may be spread out throughout the United States, we are a nationwide company. The webinar is the next best thing at this point. So now we move on to step 5. You've got your webinar or your home meeting done. Now we go on to edifying your upline. As soon as the video ends, be excited. This is an excellent business. It's a great opportunity. You need to show that you are excited about your business, excited about the opportunity, that you believe you are going to be successful in this business, because you need to share that and instill that in them. And then you follow up and you say, what did you like most about what you saw? Sit back and listen to what everyone liked and wait until someone asks a question. This is a powerful way that I started wrapping up my webinars and doing my follow-up calls. If they are on the line or if I do my follow-up call, this is what I ask them after I've gotten off the webinar, and I follow up with each of them. What did you like about what you saw today? This puts it in a positive spin, helps them think about the pros of the business and less about the cons. Instead of asking, do you have any questions? Most of the time, the questions are on the negative side. How is this going to work? What about this issue? How am I going to overcome that hurdle? And so instead of them thinking about those things, if you ask them what they liked most about what they saw, they're going to be thinking about the positives. I liked how much money potential there is. I like the flexibility of where to work. I like the flexibility of time. And they'll be thinking about those positives first. And then you'll be able to kind of overcome the negatives with, well, yes, that's a little bit of a challenge, but if you can overcome that by our training or by whatever avenue, you can experience these positives that you talked about first. As soon as a question is asked, say the sponsor name, Steve or Luke, can answer that, and quickly edify your sponsor or upline and give them a call. This is why you need to schedule it ahead of time with your upline or your sponsor to say, are you available on this date at this time, so we can go ahead and do the follow-up calls and questions. You want to edify them, talk about their success and anything positive. Introduce yourself, who you are with, and let them know that you have a question for them to answer. So this is very great. Like, you know, if you were edifying me, you could talk about, I don't know, my personality, or that I offer training on a weekly basis, or, my success in the business, how many calls I make all the time, how accessible I am, things like that. Luke, you can definitely talk about his experience in the business, his experience in real estate, all types of things, right? So if you don't know what to say to edify your sponsor or your upline, make sure you do a little interview with them and say, hey, I need some help with what to say about how to edify you when I try and bring people onto the call. How can I build you up so that it really represents you well to my downline? You may not know my resume. You may not know Luke's resume, or your sponsors, or sorry, your direct sponsors may not know yours. And so sometimes you need to give them a little bit of information so that they know how to speak about you and edify you in this business. So once you talk about their successes and positives and you introduce them, then you put it on speakerphone and introduce, and then let the sponsor or upline take over. You sit back and you just be quiet, nod your head in agreement, those types of things, but try to say nothing if at all possible. And once again, that is one of my biggest challenges, is I try to say too much. Then it comes to step number 6. Once the upline or sponsor has addressed all of the questions or concerns, then you go to the helping them sign up. Now, a lot of times there's a saying that a prophet is accepted everywhere except in his hometown, right? And the same kind of thing holds true in a lot of places. In business, it happens all the time that the people who know you, and especially if they have a long history of you, or maybe they've been more successful than you in the past in business, they may not appreciate your opinion or your answers to the questions as much as someone else, a third party in the business. And so that's why edifying your upline, getting them on the phone to answer those questions, a lot of times they will accept the responses from that upline more than they will accept it from you. It happens all the time for me. I'll have people ask me questions and I'll try to give them an answer, and then I'll ask Luke to follow up with them because they don't want to hear it from me. He may say exactly word for word the same thing that I said, but they just didn't hear it from me. They wanted to hear it from somebody else. And so don't be offended by that. Just realize that a lot of times they want to hear it from somebody else, and it just gives that stability and that backing up of another person within the organization. Step number 6, help them sign up. As soon as the phone call is finished, open up your website and ask who wants to sign up first. This starts a feeding frenzy a lot of times, especially with the home meetings. The webinars, it doesn't work quite as effectively as the home meetings. That's why those are so effective, but you can still do that same type of thing. Who wants to sign up first? Don't try to pressure anyone to sign up. Make sure they know that they can refer you buyers and sellers, which will help everyone involved. And so you don't want to burn a bridge because you push too hard for the member sign up, and then they're just totally off put by the whole situation. You want to make sure you leave that open so that they will refer you business. However, you do want to make sure that opportunity is out there. Reference to their home meeting calculator sheet and the money that they will be missing out on. Remember those 6 people you told me about in the last 3 years? You could have made $6,000. How would that help you with your, Christmas is coming up? How would that help you with your Christmas purchases? What if you had that to put towards, your kid's college fund? $6,000. How, your car? I heard you roll up. Your car, it wasn't making very good noises, and the tires were pretty bald. You could put some new tires on that and maybe get it to the mechanic, right? Something like that. I wouldn't be that offensive, but get them thinking about the money they missed out on. Once you've completed the sign up process, promote the next event. Make sure to let everyone know about the next training or company event, especially if it's a weekly training. We now have Luke has been presenting on Tuesdays. I present on Thursdays, so they've got 2 times in the week that they can get additional training, additional help, in addition to our standard training program. A lot of it is reinforcing and going back over things that they should have already learned or gotten through the training process, because it is a simple process. We just need to kind of be refreshed from time to time. The basics are what win the business. That's what helps you be successful. It's all about those basics. And so that consistency over time is where it's really at. And so that's why we go over a lot of the same things over and over again. So make sure you let them know about the training or a company event. Sometimes we'll have other events coming up, and you'll see those come up from time to time, and so you can promote those as well. Sometimes I'll even tell them, especially if they just signed up, hey, make sure we've got another webinar coming up. Steve's got here's his schedule, here's Luke's schedule, and get them to a webinar so they can see the opportunity again and really get the business ingrained in their brain and get more familiar with the terminology and what to say and how to respond to different questions and things like that. All right, so that brings us to our action items for this week. So right now, these are your action items. Number 1, create your big list. If you have not done this, you need to do this tonight or tomorrow morning at the latest. ASAP, start building your big list. The faster you do this, the faster you can get into your business and really start building yourself the big list. Do not leave anybody off. Number 2, set up your home meeting or your webinar. If you have not done that, you need to do it now. Let's go back to the big list for a second. A lot of people completed their new member packet, and it had 20 names on it. And some people provided 20 names. Some people did not provide 20 names. I challenge you to go back, and if you did not complete the full 20 names, fill it out with 20 names, and then go beyond. Start with at least that 20. Remember, this is the big list. This should be hundreds or thousands of people. Everybody in your phone, all of your contacts on Facebook, go through all of that and make your list much, much bigger, much, much longer. Once you've established your list, and don't waste time. If you get to 50 or 100 people, I would go ahead and keep building your list, keep going through that. But in the meantime, set up your home meeting, set up your webinar, whichever way you're going to do it, and start inviting those people to that home meeting or to that webinar right away. Start getting those. Once you hit 60 people, then you can hopefully get 20 out of that. So that's the way you want to do that. So that's number 2. Number 1, big list. Number 2, set up your home meeting or webinar. And then number 3, you need to invite however many people to your web meeting, your home meeting or your webinar this week. So you need to determine what that number is. We said 60 people for the home meeting to try and get 20, or webinar to try and get 20. If you do 100, you might get 30 people show up, right? And so you just want to keep pushing those numbers out. And so the more people you invite, the better. Now, it may take you 2 weeks to call 100 people. It depends on how many calls you're going to make, and you need to figure that out. Okay, how many people am I going to call this week? Now, I would recommend 10 times as many people as you want to join. Now, we said 60 people, then 20 would show up. What if you get 1 out of 10? That's why I say invite 100 people, and maybe you'll get 10 show up. If you get 20, if you get 50 show up, excellent. No harm, no foul. You're better off. But I always say ask 10 times as many as you expect to show up. Reconnect with however many people from your contacts, your phone, Facebook, coworkers, school, etc. This also goes back to contacting those same people. Number 3 and number 4 are basically the same. Okay, you're going to contact those same people, and you're going to invite them to the meeting, invite them to the webinar. And if they say no, you're going to flip it over to the top agent referral and tell them about the service. Use those phone numbers that Luke has given us. They're great tools. Once again, I would recommend 10 times as many as you want to use your service. And so focus on number 1, 2, and 3. Number 4 is a fallback, okay? And then number 5, send your accountability numbers to your sponsor. Let them know, I called this many people this week. I made this many phone calls every single day or total for the week. Let them know your progress. If you are not doing it, say, you know what? I'm just really having a hard time getting motivated or whatever. I only made 3 calls this entire week. Or I didn't make any calls. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't make any calls. If you will at least admit it, or hold yourself accountable and tell your sponsor, this is where I'm at, this is what I've done. It should not be, your sponsor should not be coming down on you hard, and they should be pulling you, right? And they should be holding you accountable, and they should be calling you out on it and saying, well, how serious are you about your business? How serious are you about trying to build your team? How serious are you about trying to get clients? If you're not making the calls, if you're not telling people about the service, they can't use the service. If you're not telling people about the business, they're not going to join your team. And so that's just the nuts and bolts of it right there. It comes down to who are you talking to. So send those accountability numbers. It'll really help you hold yourself accountable, because I hate reporting to Luke that I've been slacking off, right? So he's really gracious about it, and he's just like, well, you need to make more calls if you want to be successful. He's very, very gracious about it. He's not going to cut me slack as far as sugarcoating it and telling me, oh no, your business will grow itself, right? I got to do the effort. But by just not wanting to have to tell him that I didn't make my calls, kind of forces me to make my calls. Okay, so at this time, that wraps up the presentation. We're going to open it up for questions and discussion. So you can feel free to unmute your mic if you'd like, or you can go ahead and put questions in the chat. If you want to share it with everyone, obviously type it into everyone, or if you want it just to me, you can do that as well. I do want to thank everyone for coming tonight. It was great to see the turnout. Did that all make sense to everyone? Did you have any questions about the process, the 7 steps, getting the first home meetings and the first webinars? Getting crickets here. All right, so I'm going to assume that everyone got it okay and that there's no questions at this point. So hopefully that is all good, and we're going to just conclude the meeting at this time. Make sure you check back in and follow up with me. Let me know what you thought, your thoughts, and also make sure you tune in not next week, but the week after for the next training. Be watching for next week's in your email, though. We'll see you later. Have a good night.